Hello everyone and welcome back to Invincible Guarding the Globe. Today I will be doing a tier list of all of the heroes in the game, ranking them from S to F based on my own opinions. So yeah, if you do enjoy this, then please leave a like on the video and subscribe. Thank you for all the support on the previous videos, it's been amazing. And yeah, without further ado, let's get straight into it. So obviously these are my own opinions. If you have any different opinions, then please leave them down in the comments below. I'd be interested to see what you guys think. And this is based off of just my personal experience within the game, playing it for some time now. Now, obviously, we've got all of the heroes here. I'm just going to start off by putting these green heroes down here because they are terrible, and unless you're investing in them for a meme, then they definitely deserve F tier straight away. I'm not going to spend too long on each hero, but I will obviously give a brief explanation of why I'm putting them where I'm putting them. So I'll just go in order on the list here. First of all, we've got Agent Spider. Now, Agent Spider is an interesting one. He is very good, I would say. He is good. He is very, very effective with Anissa because he pushes the enemies, and that makes him very strong. He doesn't do that much damage though, and he is quite flimsy, so I am going to put him at the top of great for Agent Spider. He is good, and he especially works well with Anissa, but on his own he is still good, but not S tier, I would say. Definitely for Agent Spider. He does have some good tags, last line of defense and Earth defenders, but yeah, I think great is definitely where he belongs. Alan is up next. Now, Alan is very strong. He is often seen at the highest levels of the game, and definitely is a very good defender, so I'm going to put him up in amazing. I wouldn't say he is S tier, he's very close to it though, so I'm probably going to leave him somewhere around there. His survivability definitely helps him stay alive for a long time. I am going to be quite brutal with some of these. Some of them I genuinely think just aren't worth upgrading at all. I think that what's his face definitely is what's his name, Angstrom Levy. Angstrom Levy definitely doesn't do very well. He's obviously got the Mauler tag, so with the Maulers he does get a buff, but it's definitely not enough to compete with a lot of the other heroes in the game, especially with some of the newer heroes that have been released, and a lot of the newer heroes. And because there's a lot of heroes now added to the game, then I definitely think that it puts a lot of pressure on some of these older heroes that makes them not as worth to invest in as the newer heroes. So yeah, I'm definitely going to put him just in meh because he is meh. I definitely don't think Angstrom Levy is worth investing in unless maybe he gets a case files. Yeah, unless he gets a case files, I don't think is worth investing in at all, really. Next up is Anissa. Now, Anissa, I am going to go ahead and just put her straight up in S tier. I would go as far as to say I think she is probably the best hero in the game. You definitely do need some allies that push heroes so that she can use her ability where she dashes through the team. But even on her own, without that, Anissa is incredibly strong, mainly just because of her debuffs on human enemies. Makes her incredibly powerful. So yeah, straight to S tier for Anissa. Now, Aquarius is interesting. He is a rare hero and not an epic hero, but he has an ability, his main ability, which breaks through immortality shields, and that is very, very strong. He is very good in GDA ops and does see some use there, so I'm going to put him in good. He's maybe not, good for PvP or PvE, but for GDA ops, he is very useful to break those immunity barriers and get through the waves quicker. Atom Eve is very interesting. I definitely think she used to be S tier, but with a lot of the newer heroes and with their newer abilities and buffs, and especially again Anissa's debuff against humans, I definitely think she is still good, just not as good as she was. So I'm going to put Atom Eve in the A tier, simply because she is probably one of the best supports, top 3 definitely, but isn't as great as she, I guess, used to be, especially with level 15 skills. A lot of heroes have caught up in terms of the the actual usability of them. So yeah, I'm going to put her in A, still very good, and if you have invested in her already or looking to do so, then it's not a bad shout at all. Next up is Atom Eve again, but the armored version, the defender version. She as the armored, as the defender, is very strong, and I would say definitely again very, very good. The only thing is the human tag letting her down there. I'm gonna go as far as to say that she is better than the support version. She is incredibly strong, especially if you level up her skills. She does very well, basically against anyone but Anissa. She definitely does very, very well. Battle Beast is an interesting one. I see a lot of controversy on whether he is good or not. I personally think he is trash. I personally don't rate Battle Beast. He definitely isn't as bad as Angstrom Levy, but he is a glass cannon in the fact that he does a lot of damage, but receives a lot of damage and gets killed very quickly, and that just doesn't work very well in most situations. You definitely want someone who can deal a lot of damage and survive, which there are a lot of people, well, a lot of heroes in the game that can do that. So I'm going to put him down in D tier just simply because he just doesn't do his job very well. Even with his totem, I hope they buff him at some point, but yeah, I'm going to put Battle Beast in D tier. He just doesn't do enough damage or compete with the other damage dealers in the game. Next up, we've got Rare Black Samson. He isn't very good. I wouldn't use him. I have seen a few teams actually. Weirdly, I've come across a few teams in PvP in Multiverse Arena who do use him. So that is interesting, but I don't think that he's not that good. There's definitely better defenders. So I'm going to put him in D, probably at the end of D, but lower D tier. But he has got some uses absolutely. Next up is Bulletproof. Bulletproof is a DPS attacker from GDA faction. He is pretty alright, I would say. His immortality is the main thing, although there are quite a few heroes that can now break through that, especially Conquest. So if he's facing up against a Conquest, he doesn't do very well, to be honest. But if there's no Conquest, I have seen some high level Bulletproofs that have done pretty decently, pretty well actually, and survive a long time. So I'm going to actually put him in at the top of good. I think he is good. There's definitely better attackers, but if you're building like a GDA team, for example, he is very strong, I would say, with those teams. Next up is Invincible, or Cape Vincible, or Sinister Mark, however you want to say it. Now, when he first was added to the game, he looked very strong with his abilities, but we've soon found out that the math wasn't mathing, and he didn't actually do that much DPS. He was being outdamaged by Shapesmith, of all people. They recently did a balance patch where they gave him some buffs. I don't think it's made that big of a difference, but he is looking a lot better than he was, and I've seen some high level Cape Vincibles do pretty decently, so I'm going to put him at the bottom of good. I would like to see him higher up, but I don't think he's quite there yet. I think he still maybe needs some tweaks on his abilities and stats. Next up is Cecil. Cecil is from the GDA faction again. He was, again, not very good, I think, when he launched. Again, he had a few buffs, and he is in a pretty decent place. He's definitely not the best support in the game, but he does do pretty good. So I'm going to put him up there with Bulletproof. I have seen some Cecils at high levels and do pretty well actually. They can evade being attacked quite often and summon the Reanimen to join the fight, and do actually pretty decently with those. So yeah, I'm going to put Cecil in C tier. Now next up is Conquest. Conquest is definitely very strong. Most of the Viltrumites are, to be honest, and yeah, the Viltrumites pretty much just dominate the game. One of the latest episodes of the season 4 saw, spoiler alert, if you haven't already seen it, obviously, Conquest Be Defeated, which was very entertaining. But in the game, and obviously in the show as well, and in the comics and everything, he is incredibly strong. So I'm going to put Conquest straight up to S tier. He's in pretty much most teams I see in the PvP arena. He definitely deals a lot of damage and can take a lot of damage. Survives a long time, especially with all his skills leveled up. And yeah, he's very strong. So if you want to build a Conquest, then I would say definitely do it, or must do it, because he is just that good as a defender and a sort of half DPS, half attacker almost. Next up is Damien Darkblood. Now I've seen a few people actually use him legitimately. He's still a rare hero, but I do think he does have his uses, so I'm actually going to put him in meh. I think I'm going to do that. Yeah, I might move him around, but I don't think he's worse than Battle Beast. Better than Battle Beast. I think he is worse. So yeah, I'm going to put him in meh, and I'm quite happy with that. But he does have some uses. I just think if you're going to build attackers, there's better people to do it, especially from Worlds Beyond faction. What's his name again? Darkwing? Yeah, Darkwing. Darkwing is terrible. I don't think there's any use for Darkwing at all, apart from food for other Earth Defenders heroes. Same with Darkwing 2. They are both terrible. Darkwing 2 is slightly better because he is a epic hero, but definitely I can't see any use for either of them, to be honest. But their abilities just don't do anything really. Yeah, they're not very good. I would say F tier is suitable for both of them. Now, Doc Seismic is an interesting one. I definitely think he used to be one of the best heroes in the game. However, with some of the latest releases of heroes and new abilities and passives, as I mentioned before, he is still very strong, especially for the criminal faction. I think if you're building a criminal team, then Doc Seismic is pretty much a must. He is still very strong, and I'm going to put him up into A tier, but I don't think he is as strong as he used to be. His abilities are still very good, especially his anti-Viltrumite passive, but even still, I don't think it's worth him being a must-use anymore. Now, Donald is an interesting one. Donald is kind of flies under the radar, and is actually surprisingly good. He deals a lot of damage. The only thing is he can't really be stunned, otherwise he loses his critical chance build up on his ability there. But if you put him in your back line and have a team that basically can kind of guarantee him to be safe from the enemy, he can kind of just shred through enemies. He deals a lot of damage. His ability when he dies and blows up isn't very strong from what I've seen, but his critical damage with his abilities, if you get them up to level 10 at least, then he can actually do a lot of damage to the enemy. So I'm actually going to put Donald in A tier, which is kind of crazy to do. I'm pretty happy with that. He deals a lot of damage, surprisingly. So yeah, he's probably one of the best GDA heroes in the game, definitely. Next up is Duplicate. Now, Duplicate, to be honest, has some cool abilities, but isn't very practical. So I'm just going to put Duplicate in F tier. Actually doesn't have much use in the game. Next up we have what's his name? Flaxen Leader. Flaxen Leader is an interesting one because, again, he's only really good for his passive, which is good for when you're fighting against humans. He increases the rewards received by GDA ops, which definitely helps. So the only way and the only reason to build him up is simply for that passive. As a defender or as someone to actually battle with, he is pretty useless. So I'm going to put him up with Fishboy. I'm going to put them like that because he does have a use in GDA ops, but apart from that, apart from GDA ops, he is pretty useless, to be honest. General Craig. Now, General Craig's an interesting one. He is again a Viltrumite and a support at that, and also a leader. So he helps give Conquest the damage boost with Viltrumite teams, and he is very strong. His passives, again, helping boost Viltrumite's damage, critical damage, I believe it is, or percentage, His shield as well at the start of the battle is very strong. His main ability is very strong. It has, includes a stun, and he's a leader tag. He's not a human, and yeah, all of the things sort of add up to make him probably the best support in the game. Maybe contending with Shapesmith, but we'll get to him. But yeah, General Craig is incredibly strong, and it's definitely a must build if possible. Next up, we've got Green Ghosts. Green Ghost, to be honest, I haven't really ever seen any amazing use for her, so I'm just going to put her at the bottom of D tier. I think yeah, there's way better heroes to build. Even within the faction Earth Defenders, you've got Atom Eve. So yeah, there's no real reason to build Green Ghost apart from maybe her case files. So yeah, apart from that, there's not really any reason to build her. Next up, we've got Iguana. Now Iguana's interesting because I've put a decent amount of resources into Iguana, actually, surprisingly. It was mainly just to build a criminal faction team with Lizard League, and I think Iguana is good. I don't think she's anything crazy, but she is actually pretty decent, so I'm going to put Iguana in C tier here in good. I think she can do some decent work, but definitely isn't a contender for the top of the table there. Now this is going to be interesting. I recently did a video comparing these to the two Invincibles, OG and Blue Suit, basically just breaking down their abilities. So if you are interested in that, then head onto my channel and check that out. They both are very good. Both are invincible, so the sort of name of the game. OG Invincible, I guess, Yellow Suit, is good, is very strong, is very easy to obtain, and especially is good in PvE. However, PvP, he definitely is outshone by a lot of the other heroes in the game. And again, he used to be probably S tier with Doc Seismic. He is still good, but he's not as good as he was. I'm going to put him at the bottom of A because he is still very strong, and he's easy to obtain, easy to build up, but his actual damage isn't as good as some of the other damage dealers, attackers in the game now. So yeah, he is good and easy to build, and I would recommend him especially for PvE, but otherwise, if you're looking for the best of the best, I don't think he's quite up there anymore. Speaking of, however, Blue Suit Invincible is going straight into S tier. I think Blue Suit Invincible is definitely one of the best damage attackers, damage dealers, attackers in the game. He deals a lot of damage. His main ability has a very short cooldown. His passives are good, and his abilities are good. So yeah, and he's just very strong. So Blue Suit is definitely a must build if possible. He's quite rare and I guess harder to obtain than OG Invincible based on him not being in the main recruitment shop, but he definitely takes his place in S tier as a very strong hero in the game, definitely. Next up is Isotope. Isotope is terrible. I'll maybe say he's a little bit better than Darkwing, but to be honest, who really cares? He just, yeah, I can't see any use for him in the game at all. Next up is Oliver. Now Oliver's interesting because this is kind of season 3? Season 2? Can't remember which one it was. Season 2 or 3 of Invincible, season 3 of Invincible, where he's obviously younger and less powerful. And I think this variant, they'll maybe add an updated version of him with when he's older in the later season. But this version of him is pretty good as a rare goes. But again, within the faction, within the attackers especially, he definitely has some tough competition. So he is pretty decent. I'll put him in D tier because he maybe has some use, but yeah, I definitely don't think it's too important to invest too heavily into him. He does have a case file, so that is pretty good to get into. But yeah, apart from that, I wouldn't recommend him to be top of your list. Next up is King Lizard. Now he is again interesting. He's criminal and Lizard League. The Lizard League heroes I'm actually quite a big fan of. King Lizard is probably one of the best of them, and especially of the criminal faction. I think that King Lizard probably deserves a spot at the top of good, I would say. Oh, is he great? Hang on, he might be great actually. I have seen some high level King Lizards perform very, very well. His damage is surprisingly decent, especially when targets get to low HP, and his synergy with the other with the other Lizard League heroes are very good. I'm actually going to put him at low end of B tier of great. I don't want to have too many people sitting in the middle here, but also I do think he deserves that spot, as he is actually a pretty strong attacker in the game, definitely. And speaking of Lizard League, the next hero, what's his name again? I keep forgetting their names. Komodo Dragon, that's it, Komodo Dragon. He is a defender for criminals, and again Lizard League, and he isn't maybe as good as he was when he launched, because I think he was actually bugged, but with his abilities upgraded, he's actually incredibly strong. And I've played against some very high level Komodo Dragons, and they have been quite difficult to put down actually. So I'm going to put Komodo Dragon in A tier. He is very strong. I'd probably say stronger than Invincible actually. He, as a defender, especially for criminals, he is very, very strong. He probably does need at least one Lizard League allies to give him the boosts on his his passives. So probably pair him with at least King Lizard. But yeah, he is actually very strong for a I guess a Lizard League hero. Next up is Kursk. Kursk probably doesn't have any uses. There's no real point in building him unless he gets a case file probably. And next up is Lucan. Lucan is a Viltrumite, but he is outshone by pretty much every other Viltrumite in the game, and definitely I don't think is worth building at all really. So I'm gonna put him probably there in D tier. He just isn't strong. He is all right. He is okay, but compared to other people, other heroes, especially in his faction, especially even Conquest just does everything that Lucan could do but better. So yeah, D tier for Lucan. Next up is Machine Head, who was recently added to the game and is not very good. He might be good in PvE because of his summons, and probably the only good redeeming quality about him is the ability where he bribes the enemy team. It's called Tactical Bribery. That ability where he bribes the enemy team to attack their own teammate for a few seconds at the start of the round. I have seen this being quite effective actually against high level heroes. If somebody has a team where they have one hero really high and the rest of them not so high, that really high powered hero can actually kind of melt through their own team at the start of the round. So that's good, and the summons are pretty decent, but I don't think the numbers add up to make him that strong. So I'm going to put him in D-tier. I'm going to put him, I think, just below Battle Beast, because yeah, he's okay, but I wouldn't say he's worth too much investment unless they buff him up to be stronger. So next up is Magma Dude. What's his name? Magmaniac. That's it. Magmaniac. Now he, again, like Kursk, is pretty useless. I can't see any use for him, and same for Martian Man. Just putting them straight there because there's no point in really looking at them. Next up, we've got the Mauler Twins. Now these guys are interesting. They used to be sort of the only way to build up anything within the criminal faction. They used to be sort of the only options within the criminal faction to have damage dealers, to have attackers. But since then, especially with the Lizard League being added, they definitely haven't, I guess, had as much impact on the game. So I'm going to put them both down here next to Angstrom Levy. They definitely probably aren't worth investing in, apart from maybe the case files. They are definitely outshone by the Lizard League heroes and some of the newer heroes like Cape Invincible at least. So yeah, I don't think they're worth it that much anymore. Next up is Monster Girl. Now, Monster Girl's an interesting one. She definitely, when the sort of game started, was very strong actually, but with the new additions again, has fallen quite low. And to be honest, I can't see any reason for Monster Girl to be in a team. She doesn't, she does have a lot of defense, but that can be shredded through quite easily, especially by Anissa, and her abilities just don't really do that much. So even with her totem, I'm just going to put her at the bottom of D tier, because every time I come across I come across a Monster Girl, then it just ends very badly for them. So yeah, I'm just going to put her straight into D tier. Next up is Multipole. He again, I'll put him next to his sister. He just isn't very good and doesn't have much use, so yeah, I'm going to put him straight into F tier because I can never see any use for him. Now, next up, we've got Nolan and Omni-Man, who are obviously the same person, I guess, but Nolan being Viltrumite Nolan before he, I guess, came to Earth. Both of these heroes are very strong. Omni-Man kind of fluctuated actually when the game launched. He was a very, very strong DPS and held that position for a long time. Then it kind of dipped when some of the other heroes were added and he wasn't actually as good. But since level 15 skills became available, and especially since his totem was added, he's actually very, very strong and definitely actually deals a lot of damage now and can be very, very good. So both of these I think deserve to be high on the list. I'm going to put Nolan in S tier, and I'm going to put Omni-Man. Ooh, Omni-Man in S tier or A tier? That is the shout. I'm going to put Omni-Man, I think, at the top of A tier. The reason for Nolan is he deals a lot of damage, and his main skill especially is just damages the entire enemy team. He flies all around. He's not, being damaged by the enemy team whilst he's doing it. He hits all of them for a large amount of damage. He pushes them, which helps Anissa. His passive is good with fighting against Viltrumites, which is pretty much every match, and obviously with allies as well. So he works very well in Viltrumite teams. He deals, true damage as well, which is very, very strong, as we've seen with Blue Suit Invincible. So yeah, I'm going to put him in S tier as he just is a very good damage dealer. And Omni-Man as well basically is the same. He deals a lot of damage, but I would probably say Nolan is stronger out of the two. Omni-Man is easier to obtain and can be built up easier, so that is very good. And again, if you build up his passive, where he increases his critical chance when fighting against Viltrumites, at level 15 it's 50% increase on top of any stats you already have, which then builds up his critical chance ability, which then decreases his cooldown on his main ability, so he can use his main ability a lot more often. So yeah, Omni-Man and Nolan both incredibly strong, definitely deserve to be at the top of the list here. Now, next up is Powerplex. Now, Powerplex is an interesting one. I always thought Powerplex was actually quite strong, but in actually using him and fighting against enemies, I guess using him as well, he isn't actually that great. So I'm going to put Powerplex at the top of C tier here. He is pretty decent, but there's definitely better attackers in the game than Powerplex. Now, next up we've got Red Rush. Now, Red Rush is a support, but he's more of a offensive support, and he is good for two things: disrupting the enemy team and stunning them with his main ability, and his other ability where he pulls someone from the enemy team at the start of the round, and also his passive, which increases his allies by their critical damage. Now, this is especially effective with heroes like Universa or Omni-Man or Nolan, so I'm going to put Red Rush right at the top. Ooh, yeah, he's definitely A tier. Whereabouts in A tier though? That's the thing. I think he is better than Doc Seismic. Is he better than Atom Eve? Ooh, I think I'm going to leave him there next to Atom Eve. I think Atom Eve still is very strong. but I think Red Rush is about the same level. I'd probably put them about the same level actually. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. I'm happy with A tier for him. So yeah, he is very, very good. To be honest, everyone in A tier is obviously very good. So yeah, that's where I'm going to put Red Rush. Now next up is my God, what's his name? Jason Mantzoukas in the show. Rexplode. Rexplode definitely had a bigger, I guess, impact in the show and probably the comics than he does in the game. He is pretty decent, and I've seen a few people actually use him. He's got a case file as well, which helps. So I'm going to put him in D tier, just because he does have some uses, but again, there's better attackers in the game than Rexplode definitely to use. Now Robot is an interesting one. Robot deals a lot of healing. He does the support role very well in that sense, and also his stun with his rockets is actually pretty powerful. He does, I think, get outshone by a lot of the other heroes. So he is pretty good, but he isn't S tier, I would say. I'm going to put him in B because he is easy to obtain and he does support the team very well with the healing, but there are better heroes, I think. I'm going to put him above King Lizard, but yeah, he's definitely not too high up on the list. Next up, we've got Robot Life Pod, which was added obviously afterwards. This is an interesting one. I haven't really seen anyone actually properly use him. I saw a few Omnipotent Plus heroes, Omnipotent Plus teams use him. He is pretty decent, but I don't think he's actually that good, to be honest. There's better heroes to build, especially with his rarity as well. He's just not worth it, so I'm going to put him here. That'll do. Yeah, that should be fine. Next up, we've got Russ Livingston. Now, Russ Livingston's interesting because he's in a faction dominated by a lot of the top heroes. He is pretty decent himself. He is a human, so he does get that debuff from Anissa, but his stuns are pretty good, and his passive, which increases invaders' damage, is actually very strong and is very good in GDA ops, but also can be useful in PvP with heroes like Anissa and Conquest. So I'm actually going to put Russ up in great. I think he definitely has his use. He isn't that great, he isn't that amazing or a must use, but his passive and his stuns definitely allow him to contribute very well to enemy teams. So yeah, I'm going to put him up in great tier. Now next we've got Seance Dog. Now Seance Dog is only obtained within the case files, so it makes him quite difficult to get up to a high level, but he compensates with that for that with his skills being very, very strong. And if you can get through quite a few of the case files, you can obviously build them up quite highly, and especially with them adding new case files quite often, then it does allow him to be built easier, and he is actually very, very strong. His healing is good and his boosts are good, so I'm going to put him up in great. He definitely is strong, but you just obviously need to do the case files to be able to get him. Now next up is Shapesmith. Now he has had a bit of a roller coaster in terms of use. When he first launched, was definitely broken. He would basically receive damage when he got to low health and then heal the team for a percentage of that damage, and this, especially against teams with high damage dealers, which was most teams obviously, he could basically never die. He was invincible, to use a bad term, but he was very, very strong. He's definitely broken, so they nerfed him and made him worse, and he was then alright, but definitely not game breaking anymore. And then for some reason they went back on that and buffed him again, and he's definitely not as broken as he used to be, but he's still incredibly good and does a huge amount of healing and can sort of fit in with any team, and is very, very difficult to kill. So I'm definitely going to put him straight into S tier. It kind of pains me to do that because him as a character isn't very interesting, and obviously there's cooler characters to to make that good, but he is very, very good in the game and works in PvP, PvE, wherever you want to put him. His disruption and his healing and his ability to just not die basically is what makes him just so great. Next up we've got Shrinking Ray. Shrinking Ray is an attacker, and there's definitely better in the game. I've said that quite a few times now, but it's true, and I don't think she has much use. I've seen a few people use her, and she's good at when you try and stun her. She will basically then, I think it deals damage back or something like this, and I've seen her be able to sort of one-shot a few high-level heroes, but it's definitely not enough to make her that amazing. I'm gonna put her above the Maulers. Yeah, I'm gonna put her there. She's all right. She's meh, but she's not anything to sing and dance about. So next up we've got the Immortal. Immortal is an interesting one. He definitely used to be S tier again, but with the introduction of Conquest being added to break through his immunity, and again him having the human tag, and Nissa just shreds right through him, and his survivability is definitely weakened by that. In PvE he is very strong and he is easy to obtain, so if you are new to the game then he definitely is a good defender to have in that sense, but he isn't what he used to be. I'm still going to put him in the bottom of great because he still has some uses and can be good, especially in PvE, but there's definitely better defenders in the game now instead of Immortal. Tether Tyrant is useless. Yeah, I wouldn't even bother with him. Thula, again, a Viltrumite, but quite like Lucan, definitely is outshone by a lot of her peers, and is alright and is better than Lucan, definitely. Her ability where if a Viltrumite dies, then she increases her attack, I think, by 50%. That is quite strong, but apart from that, she doesn't do too much. I would say she is pretty decent, so I'm going to put her at the bottom, yeah, here in good, because she is alright, but there's definitely better attackers, especially Viltrumites, available in the game. Titan is up next. Titan is interesting because up until Komodo Dragon, he was kind of the only defender for the criminal faction. And when Komodo was added, Komodo kind of just takes the spotlight on that. So he is alright, and his defense is decently strong, his stun is good, and his shield is decent, but he just gets melted quite quickly and isn't very viable, I don't think, at high levels. So I'm going to put him in good, but he isn't anything too crazy, to be honest. I wouldn't say, if you're looking between him and Komodo is definitely better. Now this is interesting. Universa definitely used to be, I think, the best in the game. She then got a slight nerf, but then was added her totem, which kind of balanced it out. So she is definitely still incredibly strong. Deals a lot of damage and is especially good in PvE and GDA ops, but even in PvP still just does a large amount of damage, a lot of AoE damage against the enemy, and for that reason still going to put her up in S tier. Now in terms of where she is in S tier, that is going to be interesting to say. I'm definitely going to rearrange this a bit, and I think that I'm going to put her... Ooh, that's a tricky one. Blue Suit Mark or Universa. I think Universa over Blue Suit Mark, and I think Conquest underneath them. Yeah, that seems right. She is still incredibly good and definitely is a must build, and she's also a lot easier to obtain as well, being in the recruitment shop, the main recruitment shop. So yeah, I'm definitely going to put Universa up in S tier. Next up we've got War Woman. War Woman is pretty useless. Her stats and her abilities, I was having a look, are actually pretty decent, but she just is outshone by pretty much everyone else. So War Woman, I'm just gonna put here. She's not worth it. There's better attackers, better people from Earth's defenders, and she's only really good for her case file or for food. And lastly, we come down to the latest two new heroes to the game. That is Dinosaurus and Space Racer. Now, both have been quite fun launches, I have to say, and both are very strong. It's quite difficult to tell right now, as they are so new to the game, how good they are, but I definitely think they are very, very strong, and I'm going to put them very highly on the tier list because they not only on paper but even in some practical use do seem to do very well in matches. So I'm going to put Dinosaurus up at least into A tier. Is he better than Alan? That is the question. I'm gonna say he's just underneath Alan. Is he better than Armored Atom Eve? That is a good question. I'm gonna put just in here. Yeah, A tier. He is very strong. He could potentially be S tier. It's hard to say right now until a lot of people have got him up to a higher level to use him. But I definitely think that he is good, and especially time will tell. We'll see how exactly good he is. And lastly, we've got Space Racer, again a new hero out of the game, and again someone who is new, so we can't really see how good they are, but on paper and again in practical use, from what I've seen, is very good. He's very anti-Viltrumite, which is nice because, as we can see at the top, we've got a lot of Viltrumites. So I'm going to go as far as to say that Space Racer is A tier as well. I would say that he might be up about here, and I'm actually going to move Invincible there. I'm going to put him in A tier just now. He could be S tier because of his damage and his ability to kill targets at low HP, which is very good, especially against Shapesmith and especially against Alan, who are very strong, obviously. So I'm going to put him in A tier, and I'm quite happy with that. So yeah, must use probably the top 3, I would say. You can maybe switch them around, but yeah, they are all incredibly powerful, and especially these heroes here as well. Nolan, I'm quite daring, I guess, to put him there. Again, not too many people have him at the highest level, but his abilities and his stats, and from what I've seen, it does make him deserve that top spot. And yeah, I'm just thinking actually if I want to move anyone around. Obviously, if you guys have any other opinions, leave a comment down below what you would change around or what your team is using. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I think yeah, I think I'm happy with that, actually, looking at it. So yeah, hopefully this helped you sort of go through the heroes and see which of the heroes are good, and you know which ones you should invest in, I guess. Obviously, again, it's my own personal opinion, so if you have different opinions, then you're entitled to those. And yeah, if you did enjoy today's video, then please leave a like and subscribe. Hopefully you hopefully you enjoyed. Thank you for all the support in the previous videos. It's been amazing. And yeah, cheers, and see you in the next one.